Welcome back everybody. Good news for fans of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I mean, who isn't a fan of Obi-Wan Kenobi? Oh yeah, this guy. The latest news is that Kenobi will start shooting next year, which might very well make it the next Star Wars film to be released following episode 9. So as always, let's take a look at an article linked down below in the description section, and then I'll share some of my thoughts and ideas afterwards. After serving as the home base for HBO's Game of Thrones series, it seems Belfast is ready to swing its doors open to Star Wars. According to the Belfast Telegraph, Lucasfilm and Disney plan to use Painthall Studios in Northern Ireland as its central hub for the Obi-Wan anthology movie, tentative title Kenobi: A Star Wars Story, in 2019. With one source claiming that George Lucas visited the cavernous studio just before Christmas. We know Painthall Studios will become vacant later this year once Game of Thrones wraps production for the final time, though considering Lucas has all but retired from the filmmaking business since offloading Lucasfilm to Disney back in 2012, we struggle to believe that he is in any way involved in the Obi-Wan Kenobi spin-off. We've been told there will be work throughout 2019 because Star Wars is coming to Belfast, says the report. It was all very low key, only a few people knew that the old guy walking around the set was George Lucas. It was only when we were told about Star Wars coming here next year that it dawned on us that was why he was here before Christmas. The Belfast Telegraph goes on to claim that George Lucas was actually scouting locations in and around Belfast, indicating that Painthall Studios could be used as an alternative to Pinewood, the true HQ for Lucasfilm's Star Wars franchise come 2019. Again, it's a stretch. In fact, the studio is yet to openly confirm any real details about the mooted Obi-Wan spin-off, and we're more inclined to believe Stephen Daldry's anthology pick will set up shop in Death Valley or California in order to properly capture the arid sun-scorched plains of Tatooine. One way or another, next up for that faraway galaxy is the launch of Solo: A Star Wars Story on May 25th, which will be packed to the brim with galactic rogues, spacefaring gangsters, and the mother of dragons herself, Emilia Clarke. So obviously Ireland is a lush green country. It's not the first image that pops up in your head when you think of a Kenobi movie, but I think this article is making a mistake. The Kenobi movie doesn't have to take place entirely on Tatooine. Something might force Kenobi to go off-world, and it would have to be something pretty big to get him to take his watchful gaze off a young Luke Skywalker. So if George Lucas really was scouting this studio for the Kenobi movie, then the question arises as to what role does he play in the project? Is he just a consultant, or will he direct a few scenes? Now, according to Lucas, Disney did not listen to his ideas for the sequel trilogy, probably because they wanted to take it in a new direction, but a Kenobi movie will take place in a confined timeline he's already outlined. They can't do anything too crazy because that would interfere with the original trilogy, so that's probably why he might be part of the project. To help keep everything in check, the rumored director for the Kenobi film at the moment is Stephen Daldry, who directed Billy Elliot, The Reader, The Hours, and the TV series The Crown. Interesting choice if that is the case. Not the first person I would associate with the Star Wars movie, but the guy is a successful director. So depending how early in the year the project starts filming, the Kenobi movie could have a release date as early as 2020. It would be the next A Star Wars Story film after Solo, and would follow next year's episode 9, giving David Benioff and D.B. Weiss some time to finish up with the final season of Game of Thrones, which releases in 2019. I think that's the most likely case. Kenobi takes the 2020 slot, the first film from Rian Johnson's trilogy takes the 2021 slot, and that gives Benioff and Weiss time to prepare for the 2023 slot, as 2022 would be another anthology film, and I think Benioff and Weiss will most likely head another trilogy. So that's at least 6 films, one per per year. Disney might even ramp it up and do multiple films a year, just like Marvel Studios. This will now be a machine. So as much as I love Star Wars, I kind of wonder if quantity might dilute the quality of the product, and some people are already furious about where Disney is taking the franchise, and we're still early in the game here. There's so much more to come. So back to the Kenobi movie. I think it's very probable that Qui-Gon makes an appearance, and I'm quite disappointed they killed Maul off. I mean, if they had plans all along to bring us a Kenobi movie, why kill Maul off in a cartoon when the rivalry between him and Kenobi was such a marvelous thing to watch? I also doubt that he bumps into Vader. That seems highly unlikely. When Vader saw him in A New Hope, it seemed like it was the first time since their duel on Mustafar. That leaves the question as to who will be the antagonist of the movie. I mean, it would have to be somebody who could pose a threat to Kenobi, and Kenobi was one of the greatest Jedi to have ever lived. With Vader and Maul out of the picture, who else is out there? Tusken Raiders? Ha! So this is just an idea, highly unlikely I think, but I would like to see Palpatine reach out and try to turn Kenobi, and I'll tell you why I think he would even consider doing such a thing. Kenobi defeated Anakin, the Chosen One. That would certainly intrigue Palpatine. If he could corrupt him, he might prove to be an even worthier apprentice than Vader. Also, Kenobi isn't physically limited by a suit like Vader is due to the injuries he sustained. Of course, Kenobi would prove to be incorruptible by the end. Another possibility I could see is something to do with Mandalore. Due to his history with Mandalore, Kenobi might be pulled back into some kind of conflict there. So there you have it, peoples, the latest news and some speculation from my end. Leave your thoughts down below. What do you think will be the central plotline for the movie, and how involved will George Lucas actually be in the project, if at all? If you're new here and you enjoyed yourself, hit that notification bell to stay updated with this channel, and don't forget to like, share, sub and all of that good stuff. And until next time, see yous.